And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/Takes by Fans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today's a big old Sunday. We got NBA playoffs back on today. 2 games on, one at 3 o'clock, one at 8 o'clock. Early game, late game, what more could you ask for? So we'll preview those games, do our moneymaker for those games going on today. We'll break down the game that happened last night, the Clippers. I mean, we got to start giving this Clippers team a little bit more credit. They're starting to win these kind of high-pressured games. I mean, down 2-0 against the Mavs. They win Game 3, must-win Game 3 on the road. Very well done. Game 7, must-win game. They beat the Mavericks. And now, once again, found themselves down 0-2. Having to win that must-win Game 3, and they go out and win it. So we're going to have to start respecting this Clippers team a little bit more, believing in them a little bit more. So we'll break down that game and see what was going on. And then we're also continuing on with our Aaron Rodgers revisit of his one and only championship run. Does he deserve it? So we're breaking down the NFC Championship game against the Bears today. We know he loves to flounder in the NFC Championship game. So we'll break down that game, see if he deserves credit for the win. A lot of credit, no credit, and we are just re-evaluating Aaron Rodgers because he's so great. He's so great. That one and only title run must be fantastic, no? Well, so far it's been hit and miss. Garbage in the wild card game, real solid in the divisional game. And now we got the championship game to break down. So we got that all today on the show. But let's just jump right into it with the stories of the day. And the first one up, folks, man, oh man, every time I see an article, see something on Twitter about this Rams team, I just get more and more excited to watch it come to fruition in the regular season. So Rams head coach Sean McVay says Matthew Stafford will, quote, raise the level of play of everyone around him. And once again, yes, Sean McVay is talking up his quarterback, but while doing so, he's putting so much more pressure on his back, folks. This is a must-win season for Sean McVay because he had Jared Goff. He didn't want him. He didn't draft him. He inherited him. And now he finally has this quarterback that Sean McVay believes that he can win with. And we know that kind of, Sean McVay came into the NFL as kind of a big brain offensive genius. We kind of saw it early on with them getting to the Super Bowl, but then really just been lackluster ever since then. So now his kind of legacy, his coaching status is truly on the line this year. I don't think he'll have any problems. I do think this is actually going to work, and it's going to be fantastic what this Rams team can do, but they have to put up or shut up. And Sean McVay's talking himself up, talking Matthew Stafford up, and we're all about that. I mean, we're getting pumped for it, folks. I truly think we have them. We did our kind of too early to call prediction of walking through the NFL season, their schedule, and picking every winner, and we have the Colts and the Rams in the Super Bowl, folks. Colts winning, but the Rams still getting there, and that will still be a success for Sean McVay this year, even if they don't win the Super Bowl. Just getting back there with Matt Stafford, I will still consider that a success for Sean McVay. So let's see what we get in this article. Anything good? Any good quotes? So here we go. The primary commonality now, of course, concerns their respective roles with the Rams. Stafford is the franchise quarterback tasked to take the Los Angeles Rams back to the Super Bowl, a game in which McVay has reached before but ultimately fell short of winning. 2 years ago, outside serious contention prompted the Rams to trade for Stafford, who did just about everything but win over the last decade plus. In short, McVay and Stafford could be exactly what the other needs. After a few months of collaboration, the offensive mastermind said his new quarterback has already made him, quote, a better coach. Wow, Matt Stafford's pushing me, I'm pushing him, I'm learning from him. He's been in this league, he's been kind of a high profile face of the franchise player more than I've kind of been, the head, a good face of the franchise head coach, and they're learning from each other, and I'm loving that. I'm loving just hearing that short little quote right here, but we get a bigger one here. Quote, I think because of his experiences, when you listen to the different great coaches he's been around, experiences he can draw on, he's just a wealth of knowledge in being able to get his perspective with so much that goes on at the quarterback position. It's been really enlightening. He's got a great, consistent energy day in and day out, and once again, I love that, folks. We hear from like the good coaches that we talk up and we praise. We always hear the same thing. When you listen to the different great coaches he's been around, experiences he can draw from, that's what we're talking about. Getting that input, getting that collaboration from everybody in the organization, because you may think you know everything, but at the end of the day, you don't, folks. You don't know everything, and getting those different angles, different perspectives, they help you get better and learn and be like, oh, that's why I couldn't kind of, make this kind of system or scheme work, because on the defensive end, you can kind of know what was going on before the play even went. So, they already had that. Or, this is what the quarterback was looking for, and I didn't really put myself as a head coach, offensive coordinator, offensive schemer in that mindset. Because I didn't have that experience of kind of being this high level career quarterback in the NFL. But now I have that experience because I'm learning from one of the greats. I mean, Matt Stafford, like this article just said, he's done everything except win, which is unfortunately not all his fault. We'll put a little blame on him not coming up in the clutch. But overall, the Detroit, they're not all about winning, folks. They have Matt Patricia, now Dan Campbell, and we know Dan Campbell does not do this. He does not listen to different great coaches and different angles and different experiences from his players. It's all, we're just going to run into the wall and hope we break it down. So, love what we're hearing here from Sean McVay. Let's see if we get out anything else out here. Expectations are much greater for the Rams, with Stafford succeeding Jared Goff, who's played regressed after making a pair of Pro Bowls following McVay's 2017 hire. Stafford, interestingly, has been selected to just one Pro Bowl. That is truly interesting. What the heck? Is that right? Matt Stafford only one Pro Bowl, Jared Goff two? Wow. You do have to win in this league, and Stafford wasn't, but man, oh man, is that Matt can sling the ball? Absolutely. That's interesting. Yeah, truly. All right. Being chosen to lead a title contender while still presumably in his prime is even a bigger honor, and it casts a brighter spotlight on the 33-year-old than what he's used to. Truly. I mean, there was no expectations there in Detroit. Just don't go 0-17. Please don't. Even though y'all still did it, please don't do it again. So his new coach believes the whole team will be better for it. Quote, I think the first thing you can tell anybody that knows Matthew knows that it's not too big for him. He expects a lot of himself. I think he also understands how difficult this game is. In order to do things the right way, it's 1 week at a time, but it's not too big for him. He's played at a high level for a long, long time. He's going to raise the level of play of everyone around him. Guys are going to play well around him, and our jobs as coaches is going to be able to help bring out the best in these guys as well. So, yes, sir, Matthew Stafford knows what it takes to win in this league. Nothing's too big for him. He's kind of mentoring these kind of younger players on this Rams team that got close to success. Some of these players still on the same teams this close to success, unfortunately, just couldn't quite, get over that hurdle of actually winning. So, I'm loving it here, folks. Matthew Stafford's all in. Sean McVay is praising him day in and day out. Sean McVay saying this one player alone is literally elevating everybody else. Not even the players, not just the players, the coaches as well. Sean McVay just admitted he's getting better. You didn't hear that with Jared Goff. Jared Goff was like, all right, y'all make me better. Y'all please make me better because I'm not the greatest out here, but y'all make me better and I'll be the game manager. No. Matthew Stafford is the elite quarterback, the Tom Brady that is just getting everybody in the locker room better. So shout out to this Rams team, going to be absolutely fantastic, and truly hope they live up to all the hype that we've been placing on them. There's a lot of hype in them. Hyping them up in just the national media. Hopefully they do not flounder here. Hopefully they rise to the occasion, because we're going to be looking at potentially one of the, potentially one of the greatest NFL teams of all time, just, single seasons. This could be one of the best, folks. So let's see how they do in the regular season. Hopefully they do not flounder. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. We got more Aaron Rodgers news, folks. This time it's coming from Packers president Mark Murphy. He says Aaron Rodgers is a, quote, complicated fella. No, he's not complicated. He's an egomaniac that thinks he's better than he is. That's not complicated. That's just annoying. I mean, that's honestly just an annoying personality. He's not complicated. He's not some complex mastermind that, his mind is running 4,000 light years a second, and he's so much smarter and so much better. I mean, he's the host of Jeopardy. He must be so smart, right? They know the answers, folks. Alex Trebek always knew the answers because he's right. He's reading the answers. He knows the answers before. It's not like Aaron Rodgers, oh my God, he's knowing all the... No, you know it. You're the host. You have the questions right in front of you. Stop this. He's not complicated, folks. He's a normal person with an annoying personality trait. That's all Aaron Rodgers is. But let's see what the president, Mark Murphy, is saying here on Aaron Rodgers. Quote, or not a quote yet. Build up to the quote. Though there's no budging. All right. Though there's been no budging or development as it's concerned with Rodgers coming back to the Green Bay fold, Packers president and CEO Mark Murphy recently spoke about the quarterback, and with all the things Rodgers and the Pack, it's sure to draw notice. Quote, I'm often reminded, though, of Ted Thompson. As most of you know, he's just a great general manager, passed away last year, or earlier this year. He often talked about Aaron, that and it wasn't just Aaron, a lot of different players. He would say, quote, he's a complicated fella. So I'll just say that. So literally, he's not saying anything new. This is kind of something, other people have kind of put on Aaron Rodgers. Maybe it's true. I don't know the man personally. I've never met the man. I've never talked with the man. Maybe he truly is complicated and misunderstood and so much smarter. Maybe he's smarter than everybody, folks. Maybe he's smarter than me and I'm just not seeing it. Maybe my level of thinking is so shallow. I'm so small-minded and Aaron Rodgers is so big-brained out here that I'm not even seeing his brilliance. How crazy is that? Am I missing the brilliance, folks? Am I so small-minded that I just can't even comprehend how great and how smart and how complicated and complex Aaron Rodgers' mind works? I don't think so, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the problem out here. I'm not buying that, but that's what everybody's saying. Is that the only quote that we get? That's all he said. He kind of hid behind the words of a previous general manager. So that's how we know that this whole Aaron Rodgers thing is bogus, that he's not a complicated fella, that he's just an annoying personality, because Mark Murphy's not expanding on that. He's taking words of other general managers and using them, so he doesn't have to get his hands dirty, because he knows if he talks out of line with Aaron Rodgers will rain hell down with his Twitter followers and his loyal fan base on this Packers organization. So, this is exactly what we're talking about, folks. Nothing in this article, nothing solid here. He's not complicated. He's not. He's an annoying personality, which, hey, he's great at football, so fantastic for that. He's made a lot of money, fantastic for that. He's great. Nobody's doubting his on-field talents, but his off-field personality, even his on-field personality. I mean, every time, if I was the wide receiver for the Packers, every time something bad goes wrong, I do not want to look at Aaron Rodgers, because I know he's staring daggers at me, even though it's not my fault. It's 100% his fault or somebody else's fault. He's going to put the blame on somebody else and not himself. He's going to kind of be back in the huddle and be like, all right, can you guys do better this time? Oh, you can't? All right. Well, I guess I'll just have to do everything then. All right, this play on 3, break the huddle, and then, Aaron Rodgers' just presence is throwing the entire team off. So he's not a complicated fella, folks. He's an annoying personality. That's it. All right, let's keep moving on here to, a team that I want to root for, and the quarterbacks are all there practicing, trying to get better. So here we go. Antonio Gibson says there's, quote, a lot of weapons on the new Washington offense. Okay, I don't know about a lot of weapons. You have a lot of people. Weapons? I'm taking, AJ Brown and Julio Jones and Derrick Henry. Those are weapons. Those are elite weapons, galaxy destroying weapons. Washington, on the other hand, little, squirt gun, backyard water fight, water balloon, fun weapons. I'll give you that. When we look at their depth chart, and this is no disrespect to Washington, I'm all about this Washington team. I love everybody on this Washington team, and obviously you have to talk up your own team a little bit, but weapons? I mean, they got Antonio Gibson, solid running back. I'm not bashing him. What did he rush for? 795 yards last season. Real solid. What is he going into his second year? Was he a rookie last year? What do we got? 2-3 years experience? 2020 third round. So going into his second year, solid first year, 795 yards, 11 touchdowns. I'll take that all day. Yes, sir. And then Terry McLaurin. Now, that's a weapon. I'll give you that's a weapon. Absolutely. Rookie year last year. Or no, going into his second year. 1,100 yards, 4 touchdowns. We'll take that going into year 3 this year. They pick up Curtis Samuel. All right, 851 yards last season with the Panthers. Once again, solid weapon, big weapon. Meh. They got Adam Humphries. Once again, weapon. He's 5'11". Weapon. 228 yards last season, 2 touchdowns. And then at the tight end position, what do they got? Logan Thomas, once again, 670 yards, 6 touchdowns, real solid, but no real great weapons that we can really rely on. They do draft Dyami Brown. We'll see what he can do. They got J.D. McKissick in the backfield for number 2, 365 yards. Did I say they have Peyton Barber? Interesting. Peyton Barber's only 27, too. That's real interesting. All right. So, decent running back depth there. Once again, nothing great, nothing fantastic. Squirt gun, water balloon, backyard water fight weapons. But let's see what Antonio Gibson's saying out here. Maybe we can buy him. Maybe he's selling him real good. So maybe we can buy him. So here we go. Entering his second season and taking part in his first organized team activities. How great is that? Once again, all those rookies last year that had to do everything virtually. I mean, watch out for these giant year 2 leaps that could potentially be coming for all these second year players. We got CeeDee Lamb, we got Tua, we got Justin Herbert. And folks, I don't know about y'all, but Justin Herbert impressed the heck out of me, knocked my socks off year 1 with those virtual workouts. And now with an entire offseason under his belt of organized team activities in person, Justin Herbert could honestly break football. He could honestly break football of how well he plays. So we'll see how that goes. We got Joey B. We got CeeDee Lamb. He was fantastic. So we got all these great rookies that showed out year 1, and now look for these big leaps year number 2. With these organized team activities. So Gibson has pronounced that both those ills have been remedied with his toe healed up and the offense reinvigorated and revamped. Quote, I'm super excited. Towards the end of last year, I feel like when I started to get a hold of things, that's when the injury came along and slowed me down a bit. This year, we picked up a lot of new guys, and they can play. They're showing that out on the field the past few weeks on the offensive side and defensive side. A good deal of Gibson's rookie success came at the expense of arch rival Cowboys as he blasted off with the season high 125 yards rushing in week 7, walloping and ran for another 115 yards and a trio of touchdowns in a Thanksgiving thumping. He would finish the season well too, but in between finding his stride and finishing strong, he was tripped up by turf toe. Quote, it's fine when I'm out there running. I'm making my cuts, jumping, whatever I need to do. Of course, it still gets a little sore, but every day I'm still out there running, so it's not a problem on the field. It's just something I'm going to have to take care of. Other than that, I'm completely fine. And we hear that all the time, injuries with these kind of professional athletes in the NFL. It's just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm dealing with this injury. It sucks, but I can still play with it, and I just live with it. The injury never truly goes away. I'm just managing it, and I'm living with it. I'm still not going to make any excuses on the field, and I'm still going to get mine whenever I touch the field. So I respect Antonio Gibson for saying that. All right, what else do we get here? Now talking about the weapons. Here we go. With the free agent additions of veteran quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick and versatile wide receiver Curtis Samuel and the drafting of wideout Dyami Brown highlighting a revamped offense, there is a newfound enthusiasm. Quote, by Antonio Gibson. We got a lot of weapons. I feel like we got a lot of deep threats, and that's going to do nothing but open it up for me in the offense. I feel like we're going to be something to deal with. Alrighty, I can, understand that. You got Ryan Fitzpatrick, and that's why we truly think, even though it is an open quarterback competition here in Washington, that Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to win the starting job because they have these deep threats. No disrespect to Taylor Heineke, but this is what Ryan Fitzpatrick does, folks. He's a gunslinger. He can throw the ball 45, 50, 55 yards, and he will do it all game long consistently. The interceptions will still be there, but to be able to move the ball down the field, that's what Ryan Fitzpatrick does. We just saw that last year in Miami with I'm blanking on our offensive coordinator's name, old guy, Chan Gailey. He wanted to go deep with Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's why whenever Ryan Fitzpatrick was the quarterback for the Dolphins last year, every play was 10, 15, 20 yards on the field in every single play. And when we had two, it was like 5 or 10. So, yes, Ryan Fitzpatrick does have the ability to stretch the field vertically. And if Antonio Gibson is ready to hit this year 2 stride, second year stride, yeah, that's definitely going to open up the running game because you have to protect the deep ball, but you also have to kind of play the line of scrimmage with Antonio Gibson in there in the backfield. So we're not going to totally write off this Washington team. We'll see how they do. They really rely on their defense. I want to quickly bring up what they did last season here. What were their point totals? What were they doing last year? Were they already putting up a lot of points or just relying on their defense most of the time? So let's quickly see what they were putting up. All right. Week 1, they put up 27 points. Week 2, 15. Week 3, 20. Week 4, 17. Week 5, 10. Week 6, 19. Week 7, 25. They won 25-3 that game. Defense stepping it up against the Cowboys. Week 8, 20 points. Week 9, 27. Week 10, 20. Week 11, 41 points against the Cowboys. Exactly what we read in that article, just dominating the Cowboys all season long. We got week 13, week 12, game 12, 23 points. Week 13, 23 points. Week 14, 15 points. Week 16, 13 points, and week 17, 20 points. So overall, their offense was a little lackluster. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games of over 20 points. Nothing truly fantastic on the offensive side of the ball, but like they said in the article, they did upgrade a little bit. Curtis Samuel, let's see what De'Ami Brown does. We'll see if Ryan Fitzpatrick, one of the problems last season was just the quarterback. Going with Dwayne Haskins as long as they did, and then going to Alex Smith, not really getting it done, and then Taylor Heineke. So they never had that true kind of great passer of the football. Yeah, Alex Smith, but he's coming back from the injury. Unfortunate. So let's see what this offense can do. The defense is there. The coaching is there. The decent pieces to just kind of everybody be game managers on the offensive side of the football. That's all there. We'll see if they can kind of repeat and be division winners again. It's going to be tough because you got Dak back with the Cowboys. You got that absolutely star-studded. Now, if you want to talk about weapons in the division, you got to talk about the Giants. Kenny Galladay, Sterling Shepard, Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones can run the ball himself, throw the deep ball as well. They bring in Kadarius Toney, and I'm missing one, Sterling Shepard. Did I mention him? I'm going to say it again. So they got Sterling Shepard as well. So they are Darius Slayton. That's the other one we forgot. So those are weapons. That's the weapons we're talking about, not Curtis Samuel and Antonio Gibson and Logan Thomas and De'Ami Brown, rookie. Let's see what they can do. But we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I love the team. I love the coach. I love the defense. Chase Young, absolutely fantastic. And we'll see how much improved this offense can be this year. All right, next story up. This was supposed to be at the back end, but we can go over this quickly. James Harden, he's been ruled out for Game 4 today. Game 4, Bucks, Nets. How is that going to play out? That's coming up at 3 o'clock today. How can the Bucks do a kind of must-win game for the Bucks? Need to tie up the series 2-2, going back to Brooklyn to see if you can kind of make your move and win a game on the road. But no James Harden for this game. Now, if they lose this game, they're probably going to want to get James Harden back, but if the Nets win this game, go up 3-1, they'll probably rest him for the rest of the series, however long it goes. If it goes 3-1, there's no way the Bucks are going to win the series, unfortunately. which will which will be able to give James Harden just more rest, gearing up for that Eastern Conference Finals that they're definitely going to have to kind of be, all in on for, because they got Joel Embiid coming into town, and I'm taking Joel Embiid over Giannis. Giannis has floundered in the series, and we'll see if the Nets can keep it up down low and kind of keep up with the outside scoring that the 76ers, have a decent squad for. So they just beat the Hawks on Saturday. Pretty solid win as well. Or on Friday, pretty solid win. So we'll see what happens with this Nets-Bucks game 4, but no James Harden today. All right, let's keep going here. All-Pro tight end Travis Kelce says the Browns are among top competition for the Chiefs, saying, quote, I would say they're definitely a contender. And yes, absolutely. A lot of people are still disrespecting this Browns team and, kind of calling them the Browns of the last, 19 years. And I get it. They've been trash. They've always been trash. But these last 2 years, they've been getting it done. They've been implementing everything to get better. And now we got Baker Mayfield and Kevin Stefanski. They're going into year 3 together, right? Kevin Stefanski was year 2 last year. He wasn't rookie head coach last year, I don't believe. But, all that was great last year. And what the Chiefs did last year what the Browns did last year was fantastic. Got to the second round of the playoffs and then challenged the Chiefs, folks. The Chiefs only won that game by 5 points. Only by 5 points. When we take a look at the stats here, real solid work. 5-point loss for the Browns. Baker Mayfield, 23 of 37, 204 yards, 1 touchdown. He did have the pick, but Nick Chubb, 69 yards rushing. The offense, the receivers kind of got into it. Unfortunately, Rashad Higgins, a fumble. The Baker Mayfield turnover. So, just contributing. What did the Chiefs what do they do with these turnovers? So, the first fumble coming in the second quarter, the Chiefs scored 3 points off of that. The interception by Baker Mayfield canceled out points. Unfortunately, no points. The Chiefs missed a field goal. And then, the Browns ended up having a chance at the end of the game. Patrick Mahomes throwing an interception, or Chad Henne, because he had to fill in for Patrick Mahomes, but, he threw an interception. Unfortunately, just the Browns could not cash in on that, and it was a 5-point game at that point. So you give up 3 points of that turnover. Another interception takes, potential points off the board for you as well. So they were right in this game. I know Chad Henne came into this game as well, but still, the Browns, everything they do, pressuring Patrick Mahomes, getting to Patrick Mahomes, they're nice defensive ends. They just added, they got Jadeveon Clowney, no, right? He's pairing up with Myles Garrett, I believe. So, definitely the Browns, great kind of infrastructure, looking for that kind of year 3 here, looking real great. Kevin Stefanski can coach the heck out of Baker Mayfield. He knows how to get it done, how to make this offense move with the weapons that he has. So don't be surprised when the Browns are still great this season. And, this is not blasphemous or out of wildness of what Travis Kelce's saying, that this Browns team can definitely be contenders. So we're looking for the Browns this year. Expect them to still be solid, and the Chiefs, obviously they're still going to be solid, but the Browns could potentially, we'll see if they meet back up in the playoffs, and we'll see what they do when they meet each other this year. But real great groundwork so far, learning how to win. How many games they win last year, the Browns? I want to say like 10 or 11, no? Let me see if I can bring that up quickly. 11-5, fantastic. When they, they couldn't win, more than 2 games, for the last 20 years. So very well done by the Browns. We'll see if they kind of take that next stride. Hopefully they don't take a little bit of a step back. The AFC is almost stacked with talent now, really kind of talent throughout the entire NFL. But definitely this AFC with, the Bills and the Ravens and the Chiefs, and now the Colts, and who else do we got? The Titans, obviously. So real stiff competition here in the AFC, and we'll see if the Browns can still be one of those big leaders of the pack. All right, let's go to this story, and this is how you coach. This is what you do to try to find talent, not Tim Tebow. You don't go 9 years removed and still see if he has it because he never had it to begin with. You look for the new talent, and this is what we're talking about right here. So here it is. Mike Vrabel on signing former wrestler Adam Kuhn. Quote, I think we just have to continue to coach him and develop him and see what we can get out of him. Yes, right there. That if you need talent, if you need to find new talent somewhere, it's just not in the draft. You want to kind of, see what's out there. Who was it a couple of years ago with the 49ers that, was a what's the sport called? Not football. It's not rugby. They got that rugby player. They brought him in, and he kind of worked for a season. I'm blanking on his name, but I think he worked for one season for the 49ers, and then is just kind of Michael Hyde. Is that right? That's not truly sounding right. But, that's, thinking outside of the box. Oh, this athlete's great at this. These are his strengths. Let's see if we can bring those strengths to the NFL game. And it kind of worked. Not, not for a long time, but, it was solid when it was working for at least, I think it was at least a year, maybe two or more. But this is what I love. Mike Vrabel thinking outside the box. Let's see what this wrestler can do. Not freaking Urban Meyer bringing in Tim Tebow to play tight end. He'd be the shortest tight end in the league. He's 9 years removed, never played tight end in his life. That's not the prospect that you kind of want to mold into a football player. He's already proven that he can't be molded into a football player. And if you tell me, oh my God, his competitive nature is so great, stop that. Can we please get that narrative out of the media? That's the only positive that anybody spews out of their mouth when they talk about Tim Tebow. Oh my God, his competitive edge is fantastic. He's such a great competitor out of that field. Yes, every football player is. You think you're willingly just smashing into people, hard as heck over and 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 over again, and that's just one game, and then you have to practice for an entire week knowing what you're getting into, watching the film of seeing Chase Young and JJ Watt and all these great defensive players come and smack you in the mouth, and you have to watch that for an entire week straight, and then you have to go out on the field and do it over and 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 over again, and that's only week 2, and now we add an extra game this season. So please spare us with, oh my God, Tim Tebow's such a competitor. That's everybody in the NFL. If you didn't want to play football, if you were not a competitor, you would not be sacrificing your body. Just look at Andrew Luck, and he was still a competitor. I'm not. This is not a diss Andrew Luck thing, but he kind of was like, oh, this is what happens when you get hit. Oh, this is potentially, if I stay in the NFL, my injury and trajectory, just kind of my quality of life, potentially shorter lifespan because of the head injuries, potentially, loss of quality of life by my knees and my legs, just kind of, no cartilage grinding to the bone. Oh yeah, I'm out. I'm done. I gave it, a nice 5-year run, but yeah, I'm done. I'm out. I'm not doing that. So please spare us with, oh my God, Tim Tebow's so competitive. Everybody out on the football field right now currently is as or more competitive than Tim Tebow. And I would say a little bit more because Tim Tebow didn't want to switch to tight end in the when he went to the Patriots anyway, after he couldn't make it work with the Broncos, couldn't make it work with the Jets, and then he just exited the league and kind of, oh my God, I can't play quarterback. Oh, all right, I got no more competition in me. My competitive edge is gone. I'll go play baseball. So spare us. Oh my, I can't. I don't want to say this, but if you ever said that out of your mouth, I don't respect you as a sports analyst. I just don't. I'm sorry. I know it may be kind of overboard of saying that, but I'm caught up in the moment. I'm caught up in the heat right now. I can't not say it. So this is what we're talking about. Looking at it, and he may not even work out. This man, who is it? What's his name? Adam Kuhn. He may not even work out. May not work out, but still, you're seeing other kind of skill players, great skill sets that you can potentially feed and transform into the NFL game. So this is what we're talking about, folks. Great coaching right here, and we give it up for Mike Vrabel. Let's go into this article and see what this Adam Kuhn man is all about. So here we go. Tennessee recently signed the former University of Michigan All-American Team USA champion wrestler. Yes, sir. I'm loving it already. With Titans head coach Mike Vrabel seeing a project ahead that could pay off in the same fashion that one of Vrabel's former teammates did. Quote, just wanted to try to take a look at Adam. I followed his wrestling career for a while, something we looked at. And again, I was a part of as a player taking a former wrestler and they developed into an offensive lineman with Stephen Neal. So once again, he has history with this. He's made it work before. And it's been possible before. Urban Meyer should be like, oh, Mike Vrabel did that? And then you go to take Tim Tebow to try to transform him to a tight end? Get another talent. See what you can find out there besides an unproven garbage player in this league. Stop it. Let's see what we get here. Vrabel played with the New England Patriots from 2001 to 2008, and Neal played for them from 2002 to 2010. Just like Kuhn, Neal played high school football, but never in college, concentrating and flourishing in wrestling. Quote, wrestlers, especially at the elite level, have unbelievable balance, core strength, things that I think would translate well to an offensive lineman, Vrabel said. Fantastic. Exactly. Seeing what the skill sets are, recognizing other great athletes, trying to bring them to the NFL. That's what we're all about here. We get anything else here? We get one last quote here, so let's read this one. Kuhn could be the next. His athleticism and ability to compete, his ability to compete at a high level, his ability to compete at a high level. This is not just Tim Tebow, folks. Please stop it. His ability to compete at a high level are positives. However, he is aiming to play a sport he hasn't played in roughly 8 years. Oh my God, Tim Tebow hasn't played it in 9 years, so this man's got him beat. Fantastic. He's already better than Tim Tebow right off the rip. The 6'5", 260-pound plus Kuhn projecting to be an interior offensive lineman. Quote, having not played the game, there's a lot of development that has to go on pretty quickly for him to compete. But he's got a great attitude. There it is. He's got the attitude. But he's got a great attitude. He shows up. He competes. This is not just Tim Tebow, folks. Please, 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 gosh, for the love of gosh, please do not think that Tebow's the only competitor in the NFL. Please don't. He goes hard, and he just might not know what to do all the time. I think we just have to continue to coach him and develop him and see what we can get out of him and how he develops. So, yes, this is not, a surefire thing. He may work, he may not, but still, let's see what he has. He's played football before, focused on wrestling. Let's get him back in here, see if his skill set can develop, and if it doesn't, oh well, we tried. I've done it before. If it doesn't work out this time, unfortunate. I'm still batting 50-50, and I'll take those odds of Mike Vrabel out there all day and tomorrow. So, loving Mike Vrabel out here still, and that's exactly what we're talking about. Alrighty, let's keep moving on. A couple more stories to go over. Le'Veon Bell, quote, I'll never play for Andy Reid again. I'd retire first. Oh, okay. He's a little salty because, he played for the Chiefs last year and Andy Reid didn't play him in the big game or, really even in the playoffs. He didn't play like their last 2 games. Here it is. Le'Veon Bell didn't play in the Chiefs' final 2 playoff games. Unfortunate. This after maintaining a modest role upon his mid-season arrival. Don't expect him to suit up for Kansas City in the future as well. He says, quote, I'll never play for Andy Reid again. And, a little unfortunate there. Andy Reid seems like a great coach. I don't think I've ever heard anything bad about Andy Reid. Le'Veon Bell upset that he didn't get the touches. That's kind of what happened to Antonio Brown with the Bucs. He wasn't getting a big spotlight out there. He did kind of come up clutch in the Super Bowl, but, still wasn't kind of the main focus. And that's, Le'Veon Bell. They drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It's not like Le'Veon Bell was just this elite player on their team that was killing everybody. This Chiefs team has a lot of great weapons. So, it's not all about you. So definitely not a great fit here for Le'Veon Bell. Not loving this quote coming out of him either. We did say we kind of want him on the Falcons. We'll see if he plays anywhere. Still isn't signed. He says he's not going to get finessed anymore. He's going to take his time. So we'll see if he ends up getting signed. But I'm not loving the attitude out of here by Le'Veon Bell so far. Once again, He's a great runner for the Steelers, but once again, he kind of has this kind of bigger attitude like, hey, I'm the reason why. You're not paying me. I'm not going to be there. Antonio Brown, the same thing. Kind of had the same thing going on with the Bucs. Y'all aren't using me too much, kind of talking out against that. Then they end up using him, and, everything's hunky-dory. So, just a little article right here, a little story here for Le'Veon Bell. We were kind of big on him. Maybe we dropped down a little bit, but we'll still see where he goes, see if he can kind of fit in a team environment, in the team game. This is a team game. We'll see. Alrighty, here we go. Back to Richard Sherman, folks, and this time, free agent cornerback Richard Sherman waiting for, quote, right opportunity with contender. Alrighty, so in the regular season, or in the offseason, right at the start of the offseason, he wanted to kind of play with the Jets. He was actively recruiting everybody to the Jets, folks. We have the articles. We have everything to prove it. We've talked about it a lot on the show. He was trying to recruit everybody to the Jets because Robert Saleh was the new head coach of the Jets, and Robert Saleh and Richard Sherman have chemistry on that 49ers team. But then Robert Saleh never called, and then Richard Sherman's stories and news went into oblivion, and now this is what we're getting, quote, I want to get on a team that's competing for a championship, so that's what I'm focused on and waiting for the right opportunity. Once again, same thing that Le'Veon Bell's saying, I'm waiting for the right opportunity. That's why I'm not getting signed. It's nothing by me. It's, I'm waiting for the right team. So Richard Sherman, his kind of value is decreasing. He was willing to play for the Jets. That was nowhere near close to championship contenders, but now he wants to play for a championship contender, wanting to kind of be that missing piece on a team. So we haven't heard anything positive about Richard Sherman. We know he's still out there, but the fact that he's still not signed, it's in the fact that Robert Saleh didn't call him. We say this all the time, but if you're a new head coach in this league, you want kind of proven talent because you don't get many opportunities to prove that you are a winning head coach in this league. And if you get your very first job, never being a head coach before, you would call up players that you have experience with, repertoire with, that you believe in. And the fact that he didn't call Richard Sherman, that's a big red flag on Richard Sherman. So we'll see if this man can still play out here. He's not getting any calls. We're starting to get closer and closer and closer to the start of the NFL season, the start of these kind of consistent practices and not just the OTAs and the mandatory minicamps, and he's still not getting signed. So not the greatest look for old Richard out here, but we'll see what happens. All right, and then the last story to go over, the Lakers are expected to look into trading Kyle Kuzma. Yeah, I mean, folks, he can't work. He cannot work with this LeBron and AD system. He's a forward. They don't need any forwards on this team. He can't really come off the bench and lead that squad, the second team, to consistent kind of production. We talked about it a little bit last week on the show, that Kyle Kuzma against every single team, besides like three, it was like real garbage teams, and then the Utah Jazz, they were like the only teams that he was a positive on the floor on. It was like only three teams. Everybody else, every other team, every other championship contender, he was a minus on the floor on. So he's still not getting it done. He's not a productive member of this Lakers team. Can he go and work on a different team? Maybe, but when you can't work with LeBron James, folks, that's not a huge green flag. That's a big old red flag on your game alone. So he doesn't fit the scheme of the Lakers. He can't be reliable or productive when when there's no superstar on the floor. He can't get it done off the bench consistently. What do you have, like maybe 5 good games this season, 5 solid games this season? He's just not working. He's had multiple. This is his second year with LeBron James, still not getting it done. And at the end of the day, you got to move on. LeBron switching back to number 6. He's trying to, channel his inner Miami Heat LeBron, and he's ready for a championship. And Kyle Kuzma is just unfortunately not quality enough for this Lakers team to be productive on this team. So, I would definitely say he's not a Laker, but I don't know who's trading for him. I don't know what scheme he'll fit on, and I can't see him kind of being a number 1, 2, even a third option on a team. We'll see. All right. Let's go to the NBA from last night, and then we'll do our moneymaker. We are going to kind of cut the show a little shorter today, just because we have a couple of things that we want to do, and I want to be fresh for the 3 o'clock game of the Bucks in the Nets. So we will get to the Packers. I promise we will do that on tomorrow's show. Hands down, we will get to that. Just unfortunately can't get to that today. But let's talk about the NBA from last night. Clippers, Jazz, and very well done to the Clippers. A must-win game last night, and who shows up? Kawhi shows up. Who shows up? Paul George shows up. So absolutely very well done to this Clippers team, winning a big game, a must-win game. Cannot get down 3-0, and that's exactly what they did. So very well done to the Clippers last night. Kind of got out big, was able to kind of get a nice lead. Jazz were trying to cut it down, but unfortunately just could never really overtake it. And then Donovan Mitchell goes down with like 7 minutes left, and they were like up by, the Clippers were only up by like 11 at that point. So the Jazz were going to try to make that run at the end of the fourth quarter to try and take game number 3. Unfortunately, Donovan Mitchell, the ankle injury, re-aggravates that, has to head back to the locker room. Dan Snyder? Quinn Snyder. I was mixing up. We had a couple of names there going. But Quinn Snyder didn't let him come back onto the floor. Was like, all right, we'll regather for game 4. We're still in a solid position up 2-1. We can't risk you being out. You're good. You're done. All right. Unfortunate. So, and then the Clippers just go out and blow them out. Final score, 132-106. So, the Clippers, very well done last night. Reggie Jackson still getting it done, 17 points, only 3 assists. Not too many people with assists out there, kind of, individual ball. What do they have? 21 assists total? Jazz only had 15, though, so all right. Reggie Jackson, 17 points, 3 assists. He shot 5 of 6 from the 3. That's what we're talking about, baby. Getting it done offensively, a plus 14 on the floor. Love it. Paul George, great game last night. His best game, do I dare say his best game in a playoff so far this season? Potential. 31 points, 5 assists. He shot 6 of 10 from the 3, 50% on 24 shots, a plus 14 on the floor. Very well done, Paul George. Playoff P was not in session last night. Love to see that. Nicholas Batum at the 5 here, 17 points, 7 rebounds. He had a great night as well. Stretched the floor from 3, shooting 4 of 6. Once again, kind of getting Rudy Gobert out of the paint, stretching the floor. And the Clippers, let's see if they stick with this strategy of trying to do that, because that's kind of how you beat Rudy Gobert. Get him out of the paint, extend him on the perimeter. Not the best defender out there. Nicholas Batum was also a plus 24 on the floor. Absolutely very well done. Marcus Morris, all right. Only took 5 shots for the 6 points. 0 of 2 from the 3, so not kind of being that 3-point shooter that's kind of needed out here. But he's still plus 4 on the floor. Nothing great, but still solid work. We'll give it to him. And then Kawhi Leonard does his thing. 34 points, 5 assists, 12 rebounds, 1 of 6 from the 3, but he shot 58% on 24 shots, a plus 15 on the floor, getting it done. Off the bench, some decent production out here. Patrick Beverley, 7 points on efficient shooting, 66%. We got Luke Kennard, 6 points on 2 of 4 from the 3. Alrighty, we'll take that. And then Terrence Mann, 7 points on, once again, 40% shooting. Not the worst out there. So some solid contributions off the bench, but the meat and potatoes coming from the starters, which is exactly what you need from this Clippers team. So we'll definitely give this Clippers team a lot of credit for winning game 3. All right, let's talk about this Jazz team now. Donovan Mitchell was doing his thing, which he always does. 30 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. He shot 5 of 9 from 3. Great night by him. Unfortunately, had to leave a little bit early. 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And, the team just, it's done after that. I mean, if you got no Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell's out, I mean, there's nobody to run this offense. Nobody else can run this offense. Joe Ingles? Jordan Clarkson, he can, but he's looking to score most of the time himself, so. Donovan Mitchell, solid night, unfortunately ends a little bit earlier. Joe Ingles, 19 points, 4 rebounds. He shot 5 of 8 from 3, doing what he's supposed to do out there. Rudy Gobert, 12 points, 10 rebounds, only took 7 shots. Not the greatest. Need him to score a little bit more. Royce O'Neal struggled in the first half. Solid in the second half, I would guess. But 12 points, 6 rebounds, 4 of 8 from the 3. And then Bojan Bogdanovic. What the hell is going on with this man? Usually all reliable out here for this Jazz team. But 9 points, 4 rebounds, 1 of 5 from the 3. 20% on 10 shots. So truly couldn't get it done, Bogdanovic. And we usually can rely on him. So a little unfortunate there. And then off the bench, just nothing great. Jordan Clarkson put up the 14 points. Once again, that's what he does. He took 16 shots, the second most on the squad, which is a given whenever he's playing. But just wasn't efficient. 31%, 4 of 9 from the three, not terrible, but a minus 24 on the floor. Not looking to get others involved, and that's what Jordan Clarkson needs to start doing, folks. And that's really it. Georges Niang, man, this man is he's not even that great. He's had like maybe 3 good games this year, ended up getting into the starting lineup and then threw him right back down to the bench because he kept floundering. So this bench of the Jazz, man, they wants one of the deepest teams in the league slowly dwindling out here, and they desperately need Mike Conley back, and the Suns are truly looking like the greatest team in the Western Conference, and I don't think this Clippers team can keep up with it because the Suns have great defense and great scoreability on a consistent basis. Chris Paul is playing great. You got Devin Booker, who's a walking bucket. DeAndre Ayton's locking up the MVP. As much as you can lock down an MVP. So, watch out for the Suns team. Truly, I think they're now the best team in the West. This Jazz team has been floundering. Close wins here against the Clippers. And like I said, I'm going to try to give this Clippers team more credit here. But against that Suns team, I can't believe it till I see it. So I'm still going to have the Suns over the Clippers so far in the Western Conference Finals. And we'll see how the Clippers do in game number 4. Try to tie the series up. So we've got 2 games on tonight, folks. 2 games on. 3 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, Rock. 3 o'clock, Nets Bucks. 3 o'clock, ABC, Game 4. Can the Bucks and Giannis? I mean, everybody was struggling scoring in game number 3, so we'll see how they all come out in game number 4. And then for the Suns, Nuggets, 8 o'clock, TNT, Suns up 3-0. Can they have the sweep? Can they sweep the Nuggets? Man, oh man, the Nuggets, man, they cannot play a full 48 minutes. A full 48 minutes of NBA basketball out there. They just flounder in the second halves. Michael Porter Jr., man, he's just not himself, man. He is not himself. Hasn't scored over 20 points this entire series, so not the greatest. So let's get these lines up to date. Let's get this spread rocking and rolling. And let's hit a moneymaker for tonight's action, folks. We're not going to have too many, days left of 2 games on. So we got to make the most out of it. Cash in those great odds when we can. So here we go. First game up, Nets, Bucks. Bucks +2, Nets -2. And Folks, I have to take the Nets -2. Jeff Green is a game time decision for the Nets, and man, oh man, could you imagine they're getting deeper? The Nets could get even deeper, folks, tonight. How crazy. Actually, let's see if we can get any firm update on him. Let's go to NBA Fantasy Labs. We got anything? No, they haven't updated anything in a while, unfortunate. So he's still a game time decision. We'll see. He's questionable game time decision. That's what we're looking at. So we'll see if he's good to go. James Harden is still out. And then for the Bucks, everybody's good to go. So, I still got to go with the Nets -2 here, folks. I mean, what is going on with this Bucks team, man? It's just not great. The only reason why the Bucks won was because the Nets couldn't shoot at all last night or in game number 3. And how often does that happen, folks? Not that much. What's more likely to happen? The Nets shoot well or the Bucks shoot well? The Bucks are able to kind of score with Giannis down low. Giannis starts hitting his free throws. Giannis starts hitting magical threes for some reason. Or just, the Nets' great shooters of Kevin Durant and Kyrie just play an incy-bincy teeny bit better than they did in game 3. I'm going to go with the Nets. I mean, it's unfortunate, but Giannis, he does not work in the playoffs. I don't know what it is. The man cannot get it done. He's hesitant to drive. The Nets are clogging the paint with just Blake Griffin out there. Kevin Durant's kind of playing the 5 as well. And once again, that length is locking up Giannis. He cannot get down low. He's not an outside scoring threat. We all saw the videos going around of, Giannis trying to kind of, dance around Blake Griffin, taking the ball back to the 3-point line. Blake Griffin not respecting it, still giving him space, and Giannis struggling to get around him, folks. So Blake Griffin is playing fantastic in the series. Kevin Durant's playing fantastic down low and cashing out. Unfortunately, not cashing out at all in game number 3, but we're expecting that to happen in game 4. I don't care that the Bucks are at home. It's done. It's over, man. This Bucks team is not great. Chris Middleton had a good game number 3. How often does he string good games on top of good games on top of good games? Can this Bucks bench do anything? PJ Tucker, once again, an offensive liability. We can't count on him to score. Yes, he's a good defender, but he's on Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant can easily, PJ Tucker is a good defender, don't get us wrong, but Kevin Durant's 7 feet, folks. It doesn't matter how good of a defense you play on him. He's still rising up over you. The man rose up over LeBron James to seal the finals, folks. PJ Tucker is nothing to that. So I got to go the Nets here, -2. They bounce back scoring the ball. Still can't count on Giannis. All right, then we get the Suns and the Nuggets, man. Suns -3, Nuggets +3, and man, oh man, do I want to root for this Nuggets team, but they are just lackluster on lackluster on lackluster offensively. Yes, they keep the games decently close in the first half, but that third quarter going into the fourth, they get blown out, folks. So everybody's going to go for the Suns. For the Nuggets, PJ Dozier's a game-time decision, and they better hope he's out there. They need all the help that they can get off the bench. Like we were saying, Michael Porter Jr. is just the shell of himself, folks. He has not scored more than 20 points in a game, and he's their number 2 scorer. So that's a big problem, a big old problem, especially of how well this Suns team has just been shooting in this entire series. So I'm going to go the Suns -3 here. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, McCall Bridges, Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder's hitting the threes, extending the floor, locking up defensively, and then DeAndre Ayton is just doing exactly what he needs to do. And can we talk about Jokic's stat line in game number 3, folks? Fantastic. A triple-double. Let me get it exactly right here. 32 points, 20 rebounds, 10 defensive, 10 offensive, and 10 assists. That's why he's the MVP, folks, because he's a great passing big man. Joel Embiid is averaging 1 assist a game, folks. Stop it. So, Jokic, truly, I think, deserved of the MVP, but can we get some help out here? Austin Rivers, I mean, he's classic Austin Rivers. I mean, you cannot rely on him. He's a solid bench player. I don't want him in my starting lineup. Michael Porter, like I said, the back is getting to him. And if Michael Porter Jr. is not your number 2 scorer, who is? Aaron Gordon's not the scorer. He's not an offensive scorer. He's not, he'll get you maybe 10 to 15, but he's not that 20, 25 plus scorer like you need your number 2 scorer to be. Facundo Campazzo, solid, but once again, not that great offensive scoring threat. Monte Morris has been real hit and miss this series, where the Suns are just on point. They don't even need their bench, and their bench is real solid. Dario Saric, Cameron Payne has been Cameron Payne, can we shout that man out? This man's been fantastic this entire playoff run, and he hasn't even been getting that many minutes because Chris Paul has been out there dealing with the injury. We were calling it all the time in that Lakers series, rest Chris Paul. So Cameron Payne, we believe in Cameron Payne to get it done, but he's still working with however light minutes he gets. He's still working with it out there. So I'm loving the Suns team. Cannot rely on anybody on this Nuggets team other than Jokic to put the ball in the hoop. We'll take the Suns -3. So that's going to be our moneymaker for tonight. Nets -2, Suns -3, and we're looking to cash out on one of the final days, potentially, of 2 games of NBA basketball on a daily basis, because the Suns could potentially wrap up the series tonight, sweeping the Nuggets. So that's going to do it for us today, folks. Let's see if anything's breaking quickly. Looking like nothing out here, folks. So we'll be back tomorrow. We will get to the Packers-Bears NFC Championship game 2010 to see if Aaron Rodgers deserves credit for his title run. We will. I promise we will get to that on tomorrow's show. All right, folks. We're out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. And we are back tomorrow, folks.